Hello, everybody. My name is Caroline Boivin, and today I'm here with Reg Neufeld, and we are going to talk to you about CTFO and CBD, which is a very hot topic right now on YouTube and all the media. So, Reg, CTFO, what does that mean?
Those are the letters of the company's name, which is changing the future outcome. And it's quite significant in that changing the future outcome for people's lives from a health perspective, which is so important because that's what our products do. And also from a financial perspective, because for some, CTFO represents an income opportunity, not for everybody. Most people are just customers, but there are also opportunities for people to add additional income to their lives. So it can change the future outcome from a financial perspective also.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. I just learned, which I feel it's very fantastic name. Now I love the name CTFO. So, Reg, can you introduce yourself to the public, please?
Certainly, I'll be happy to. My name is Reg Neufeld. I have a background primarily in sales management and business ownership. I was in the retail automotive industry for 30 years, the last 13 years of which my partner and I owned a Toyota dealership. After selling my interest there and retiring from that industry, I started a personal development and leadership training company. I had been a practicing student of that for most of my adult life, still am. It's a never-ending process. I had created a number of programs of my own that I was sharing with our people in dealership, helping them become better, not only as professionals, but in their personal lives as well. This kind of information has an amazing effect on people's lives, their relationships, how they raise their children, etc. So for 10 years, I presented my programs to private industry and to government organizations. I retired from that in, what it was. Anyways, after about 10 years. So it was 2002, I sold out of the dealership. I spent the rest of that year with my dad, who had terminal cancer. So I was fortunate to be able to be a support for him and spent a lot of quality time with him. We became very close then. Um, I should backtrack just a step here. When I sold out of the dealership, I had a good sit-down chat with myself. And
Okay.
I asked, yeah, it's a good thing to do
Yeah.
sometimes. Actually, I
Yeah.
do that at the end of every year, actually.
Okay.
But I had a particularly meaningful one that time with myself.
Okay.
And I set three criteria out for myself that from then on in my life, any serious involvement that I had in anything as a volunteer or in business would have to meet these three criteria. And they were that I would have to wake up in the morning excited to get at it. It had to be so meaningful, so important to me that I couldn't wait to get up and get going on it. It had to juice me, so to speak.
Yeah.
That was number one. The second one was that it would have to make a difference in people's lives, a positive difference in a meaningful way in people's lives. Uh, and the third one was that it would have to allow me time and travel freedom, because all those years in the automotive world, in the dealership, I felt like I had both feet nailed to the ground. I had very little freedom to come and go. I had huge responsibilities. And I wanted, for both my sake and my wife's sake, for us to be able to do things that we hadn't been able to do before. So um, after my dad passed away later that year, after selling our store, I started my personal development and leadership training company. I did that for 10 years. It was an amazing experience working with a broad variety of people. But after a time, it became something that was restricting.
Yeah.
I'd look at my calendar and I was scheduled out months in advance. And so there went my travel freedom. So
Yeah.
I had to be back in one place again. And that became, or in and around at a certain time anyway. So I wound that down. In the course of doing that, though, over those years, I had also taken on a part-time business. It was I was representing referral generating, keeping in touch product, service, whatever you want to call it. It was online based, but it was also a physical product. And so I did that right up until about a year or two ago. I kept very active with that on a very part-time basis, but it was meaningful because it allowed people to stay connected with people. And so
Right.
it was having a positive effect on people's lives. Also, over the years, I served multiple terms on the board of the local Chamber of Commerce. I served multiple terms on the board of our Rotary Club. And then for several years, I was on the board, 2 terms of which I was president of the board for a national kindness organization.
Right.
And that was a very, very meaningful experience. So all of those things met my 3 criteria, at least initially. Some of them got a little bit, I became a little too heavily involved at times, sometimes, but basically they did. So about 5 years ago, I was approached to step in on a temporary basis to oversee a company that was going through a period of ownership transition. And they were in a situation where their general manager had left on very, very short notice, and they needed somebody with experience to step in and sort of run the business and assist with interviewing prospective operating partners. And so I was asked to do that. And it was an industry I had no familiarity with, so I was initially my reaction was thank you, but no. But the owners were friends, close friends, and they were in a jam. And so I said, okay, I'll do it. And so for 2.5 months, it was an amazing experience because for 2.5 months, I was able to be on the inside of a very high security research and development facility in Richmond, BC. And what they were doing was extensive research and development of plant species, focusing on the cannabis plant family. And they were one of the things they were focusing on was identifying health benefits of CBD and finding ways of extracting CBD and using them in form of oils and tinctures and salves and so on. So I was able to spend quite a bit of time in the labs working with the research doctors and the chemical analysts. And I knew nothing about this subject prior to that. I learned a great deal while I was in there, enough to know that I was just scratching the surface in terms of what I had learned.
Right.
But it was really interesting and rewarding. And I came to understand the incredible health benefits of CBD and all the various cannabinoids.
Was this the first time in your life you find out about CBD? Like, as for myself, this is new in my life. Well, not marijuana, I knew that for
Mhm.
years, but what I grew up with is that it was illegal, it was drug, and it wasn't good for us. And of course, hemp plant cannabis family, they have many application. It's the most precious plant on the planet. And I was introduced to CBD like just recently. I had no clue about that. So was
Yes.
this the first time you heard about that?
Well, not the first time I'd heard about it, but I really, probably like most people, I had some limited understanding of marijuana and hemp. I guess I knew enough to know that marijuana was of the plant that had the THC component, the high component. That's what people
Yeah.
smoke to have
Yeah.
that experience. And I knew that there was such a thing as industrial hemp, and that in the past it had been used for making rope and fabrics and different things like that.
Yeah.
And that's about all I knew about it. So what I learned was that they're cousins in the cannabis family. They're the marijuana is grown specifically to have that THC component because that's what people want, is they want that experience. Hemp, on the other hand, is grown for a very different purpose, or had been in the past. And uh, what I didn't understand was the health benefits of hemp CBD in particular. I knew basically nothing about that, but I was always kind of wondering why they had lumped both the United States and Canadian governments and most of Europe had lumped hemp and marijuana together. And and basically demonized them
Yeah.
and made them illegal compounds. And I could sort of understand why they did that with marijuana, just like, there was prohibition where they did that with alcohol, and that didn't last too long. But I could never understand why hemp, because it didn't have the high component. It had a lot of useful uh, byproducts that could be made from it. So I did,
It's
yeah. But that was
it's
my first experience.
it's just so they can find out and then sell it to you. They don't want you to grow your own hemp in your backyard.
Well, but the thing is, with hemp, there's no reason. I'll just say this: back in early 1900s, 1800s, 1700s, in many parts of the world, the United States, certainly farming areas, they were growing hemp for a lot of different purposes. And in fact, in some states in the U.S., if you had a farm, you were required by law to have so much of your land in hemp.
Yeah.
And and then in the 30s, in the 1930s, I think it was around 1937, corporate interests lobbied government to, first of all, they did a wonderful job of demonizing marijuana, making it sound like a devil plant,
Yeah.
which of course it's not. But they also then, because the hemp was a cousin of the marijuana plant, they found a way to lump it together, and they pressured government to illegalize it. And the reason they did is because there were corporate interests that had a huge investment in tree farms, and rights to trees, so that they could make pulp, so they could make paper. And what they were finding was that the hemp plant, instead of like a tree to be grown and harvested for pulp, the life cycle is, or the growing cycle is 7 to 20 years, depending on the type of tree, is what I understand. The hemp plant, you can plant it and harvest it in 4 months. So the turnaround time was so much faster, and so it became a much cheaper way of producing paper. And interests like the Hearst family out of California, barons in the tree paper industry, publications, and so on. They were played a role in pressuring government to make it an illegal product,
You
and so
know,
they did.
this is some kind of frustrating. When you wake
Oh
up to
yeah.
a truth like that, it's like,
Yeah. Well, and it still goes on to this day. There are so many health benefits that we've now come to understand come from both the marijuana and the hemp plants, and yet it's, up until very, very recently, it's been an illegal compound. So in Canada, it was legalized in October of last year, 2018, and that's both marijuana and hemp. In the United States, marijuana is still illegal. Some states it's legal, but federally. But hemp is now legal nationally, and it was signed into law by the president in late December of last year. So now it's legal, although in Canada, for example, there's still a bit of an issue with Health Canada, who is the Canadian version of the FDA, and they have put heavy restrictions on who can sell it and who can import it and so on. So we're dealing with that here in
no
Canada.
wonder.
Yeah, and again, I think now there's that old saying that says, follow the money trail, right? And the pharmaceutical industry has a great deal to lose here, because there's so much research now showing, and practical experience showing, that hemp CBD can replace these opioids that are having such a negative effect in our society. So uh, obviously the pharmaceutical industry has a vested interest, and so they're not giving up on this easily. But we the people are making a tremendous amount of progress, and we, like now, CTFO is producing some of the highest grade product on the planet, and it's readily available in the United States and 9 European countries. Canada, we're still struggling with getting it imported here because of our Health Canada issue, but it's coming. It's very, very close.
So,
So now, would you like to know how I came to know about CTFO?
yeah. So CTFO means change.
Changing the future outcome.
All right. It's noted.
So I'll just go back a little bit to when the time I spent in that research and development facility. Um, One thing I learned there, one of many things I learned there, was there's a tremendous difference in the amount, in the quality of an end product when you're making from the hemp plant, hemp CBD. And what I've learned is that the hemp plant is quite unique in that it has an incredible ability to draw toxins out of the soil. So
Yeah.
much so that it is being used around the world in various places for cleaning up toxic soil. Apparently, in Chernobyl, where they had that big nuclear meltdown years ago, they're using it there to help clean the soil. Now, that's wonderful quality in the plant. However, if you're growing the plant for food or medicinal purposes, uh, you better be very careful where you're growing it, because if there are any toxins in the soil, or if
Yeah.
you're using pesticides, that ends up in the plant, and then that ends up in your end product in concentrated form. So now you're taking something for your health, but you're actually getting a potentially toxic
Yeah.
product. So the first one of the first things I learned was that you, if you're going to have a good end product, it has to be grown in clean soil, and it has to be grown organically. So about just over a year ago, so after I left that research and development facility, I'd fulfilled my obligation there. Um, I thought I'd never have anything to do with marijuana, hemp, any of that stuff again in my life. I just didn't think I would, because it was illegal in both countries.
Yeah.
And and then about just over a year ago, a friend, someone I've known for a long time and trust, approached me, and she said, "Reg, there's something, I just got involved with something that you absolutely have to know about and you have to be involved in. So it's free to join. Just sign up. Don't ask any questions. Just sign up." And I said, "Well," I said, "Yeah, great. Okay, I'll do that, Mary. But what is it? Like, what is it?" And she said, "It's hemp CBD products." And I said, "Okay, I will sign up because it's you. But believe me, I won't be doing anything with this until I do some serious due diligence."
Right.
Uh, and so I did. I spent the next months, several months, uh, studying the company, the ownership, their business practices, the product. I wanted to know, how the product was made. Where are the plants grown? Under what conditions? How is the end product extracted? How is the CBD extracted from the plant? What method is used, and so on. So I had a lot of things I had to satisfy myself on. So I satisfied myself on all of the important things. And then I thought, okay, now let's see if the product, because meanwhile, I was reading all kinds of amazing testimonials on how people were getting so many benefits from this, from taking the CTFO products. And so then I ordered some, because my wife Kish had, several years before, she had a fall. She was helping some friends paint their living room, and she was doing the cutting up in the ceiling, the high part. And she had done such a wonderful job. She was so proud of the job she did. She stepped back to take a look, forgetting that she was on the ladder. And so she fell between the couch and the coffee table and damaged her neck, and it turned out to be nerve damage. So for years, she suffered from pretty acute pain. On a scale of 1 to 10, she was very often 8 to 10, probably most of the time. And nothing. She tried everything, acupuncture, chiropractic.
Nerve damage is
Yeah,
awful.
it was horrible. And she has a high tolerance for pain, much higher than mine. If it would have been me, I would have been in really bad shape. But she managed it. And but then so anyway, so I ordered the CBD oil for her, and it within days, her pain was lessening, and within a week, just over a week, it had dropped down to about a level 2. So it made a huge difference for her, and that was kind of the final proof that I needed to know that this is the real deal. This is
Yeah.
something. And so then the more I learned about how beneficial this was for other people, and with so many different kinds of health conditions,
Yeah.
I not only did I decide I was going to engage in this, I felt an obligation to make people aware of this, because it's just too important. There are so many people that are being helped by this. And I don't know how any of us, once we know about this, how we can not tell other people about it.
Well,
They
that's
have to
right.
know.
That's exactly how I feel. And that's what we are doing right now. We
exactly.
want to tell the whole world, hey, look, do your own research. This is what we have come up with. We have done our due diligence
Yeah,
research. That's all you
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Excuse me, people. I'm French, so I don't know all the pronunciation of every word. There's anyway. I don't want to break too much, and so I think I'm gonna have to edit here.
I don't think so.
Oh, I fight it. I mean, okay. Sometimes it's just I get so much stuff I want to say. It kind of come jam here, and there's too much. I don't know which one to pick.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, if you can, when you're ready to start again, just ask me what were the things that I learned that convinced me about the quality of CTFO's product.
Good question. Okay. So, Reg, what are the things that you have learned that made you settle your mind about CTFO and CBD product that this is the real deal?
Well, that's a really good question because there wasn't one thing. There were several things. Just like I mentioned, I set out 3 criteria for myself and anything that I would get involved in the future. There were some criteria that I had. If I was going to have any involvement in a CBD product, uh, I would have to know these things, these important things. And I mentioned about where is the plant grown. So CTFO's hemp comes from state-regulated farms. So they're currently sourcing their hemp from 3 different states, state-regulated farms. In other words, the state is ensuring that these are truly organic products. So they're organic, grown in state-regulated farms. Then the next big one was, how is it processed? What method are they using for processing? Because what I had learned was that there were 3 common ways of extracting the CBD from the hemp plant. And the least expensive and the one that is used, but most of these smaller ma and pa type of operations, is solvent extraction.
Yeah,
So they use ethanol or some other solvent to
gentle ethanol.
while they can say it's gentle, but I don't know how gentle it really is. But anyway, the challenge with that, it's the least expensive method, but the challenge is that there's a high probability you're going to end up with solvent residue in the finished product, and that's not good. That's not what you want. So the second one is using heat, CO2 extraction with heat, or some other form of extraction with heat. And that, as long as there's no solvents involved, that's far healthier in terms of you're not likely to have toxins in the end product. However, the heat damages the CBD and other cannabinoid molecules. So
Right,
it damages the molecule. So you're not getting the full benefit of what's in the plant.
right,
The method that CTFO uses is the most expensive, but it's the pure one, and that is cold CO2 extraction. And that preserves the integrity of the molecules in the end product. So that was a big deal. But more than that, or even more than that, the processing plant is GMP certified, which again is another government form of certification, which means that if they have to follow a certain set of standards in the processing, and above that, and they have to be tested. The end result has to be tested. But above that, the company took another step, and CTFO has all of their products independently lab tested by a third-party lab. So, and those test results are available for all to see. They're available on the website. Anybody can see them anytime. So,
yes,
so those were, organic, grown in pure soil, no pesticides. Oh, and no animal testing. They do no animal testing. The company's is, free of that. It's non-GMO. It's the best processing methodology, and then it's independently lab tested. And so those were huge for me. And I've looked at a lot of different companies and their products, and I could count on one hand the number that I've looked at that come even anywhere close to CTFO. And then to sort of demonstrate the confidence that CTFO has in their end products, they put a 60-day empty bottle money back guarantee on all of their products. So in other words, you can buy it, use it, and if you're not happy with what it's done for you, return it. Even if you've used the whole bottle, you can return it within 60 days. So uh, that's amazing. That is truly amazing.
Yeah, you can't find that very often. Like no
It's rare.
matter what, you got a refund if you're not satisfied with the product. And what end up with people who's trying the product, they buy more. Is that
Well,
right?
exactly. And the return rate for CTFO products is just minuscule. It's extremely small. And interestingly, I learned just recently that of the products that are returned, which is very, very little, half of them have never been opened. So, in other words, the people, I know it's crazy. The people were returning them not because they didn't work, but they were returning them for some other reason. They financially they felt they couldn't justify it or whatever, or who knows what the reason was. But buyer's remorse, call it whatever you want. But they weren't even open. So it's not that people had a bad experience with them; they didn't even
Right,
try them. But
right.
I should add something here, Caroline, because uh, when we talk about the quality, the assumption is then it's going to be a really, really expensive product.
Yeah,
But that's not the case. It is
no,
extremely competitively priced. And
yeah,
and I have checked out the marketplace pretty closely.
me
And
too.
there are many products that are more expensive than ours. I would say we fit right in the middle area,
Yeah,
price wise. And there are some that are cheaper. But when you're looking at product, and if it's less expensive, then you better
it,
be careful what you're looking at, because it could very well be a solvent processed
yeah,
product, something
it's
like
less expensive because it's gentle ethanol.
that. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I found that on Tree website. I'm like, really? Gentle ethanol?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's gentle. I don't know. I don't know.
I trust me. I've done the experiment one time, and ethanol is ethanol, and there's nothing gentle about that.
Okay. Well, you could be right. I don't have any experience. Hey, I should jump in and just because people may be looking at this and saying, "Where is this Reg guy anyway?" And
Yeah,
I should I should say that about over 2 years ago now, my wife and I bought a motorhome. We sold our home and other things, and our cabin and other things that we had, and we bought a motorhome, and we've been on the road traveling all around North America for the last 2+ years. So this is the inside of our motorhome, and so maybe it looks a little unusual, but that's what it is. And this painting behind me is we call the Dancing Lady, and it's a beautiful painting if you saw it
yeah.
in real. And it was done. A good friend of ours is a seriously good artist, and she painted this, and so it's very, very precious to us. It comes with us wherever we go.
Perfect. So, just to make it a little more official, and uh, I want to show with all of you guys um, the website that is in the description link, the link for the description box for the link for CTFO, where you can see just about everything. Okay, so here, this is the link. Okay, so here you have three video that will explain to you a whole bunch of stuff. Like they're small video, they last like 3 5 minutes each, and you have here why 10x pure, you have why CBD, and why CTFO. Then here you can shop right away. But under that, you have 10x Pure Science. Now, what's that? If I click on it, look at that. So this is exploratory scientific endeavor. Anyway, you can download this if you want to. Now, I haven't seen any website that sell CBD that provide you with the real document of the research. So you will find that all over the place on this website. Here you have a collection of all the products. You can read into it. Now you wonder what CBD does for people. Here you have a testimonial of all kind of people for different stuff. Some have used the creams, some have used the shampoos, some have used, they have so many product and it help in so many different way. It's just you go and you look at it. Now on the health benefit, here again, just underneath, you can already shop. But what's that? Lab result?
Yes,
I,
those are the lab results for the product testing that we referred to. Also, when you're looking at your website there, that when you go to the first page, my recommendation would be to, you'll see one of the first things you'll see is a window with a video, but underneath it are those three green boxes that you're referring to with the
yeah,
different links.
that,
I would start with the one that says why CBD.
yeah,
I would watch that, and then I would go to why CTFO. And then after that, I would click on the 10x Pure, because if I can just touch lightly on that, 10x Pure is a patented product slash process that only CTFO has. And a quick bit of background, there's a company called 10x Pure, and they found a way of processing an oil, any oil, like a vegetable oil or any oil, and basically oxygenating it and making the oil water friendly. And that's a big deal because oil and water don't mix. And as most of us know, 50 to 65% of the human body is water. Most of our blood is water. So what has happened is CTFO learned about 10x Pure and formed a unique relationship with them. Actually, they now have an ownership position in 10x Pure. And they have an exclusive agreement to use 10x Pure. And what they've done is combined our full spectrum CBD oil with this 10x Pure process. So that makes our 10x Pure CBD oil water friendly, water compatible. And this means that it gets into the bloodstream and into the cells far more efficiently than any other CBD oil on the planet. And there's some really interesting information about that. And I'm not sure, Caroline, if I sent you a document that with all that information, and you could make that available to your viewers if you'd like.
sure. You just send me the link and I'll put that in the description box.
Okay. And also one other site that I think might be of interest, probably would be of interest to many, is that what is CBD independent third-party website. That is just an abundance of good medical type information relating to CBD and the various health conditions that it's been known to help.
Yeah, send me that link too. I'm going to put it in the description box.
Okay, will do.
Okay, so if we keep going with CTFO, so I showed you all the lab result. Like this look legit to me to the first view compared to all the lab result that I would see on other website. This look legit to me. Okay, it's not just a graphic there and with some numbers and some writings. Then we have the nutritional benefit. You can read all that, but here what we got: CBD for your pet.
Hmm.
Now, what do you think of that? I mean,
Well, that's really an interesting question because I didn't know anything about that up until fairly recently. But I have learned that uh, hemp CBD works equally well for animals as it does for people. In fact, any vertebrate, which is simply a mammal with a vertebrae, which covers most animal life, benefits from hemp CBD. And in fact, they very often they respond more quickly to it than people do, perhaps because of lighter weight. But they're using hemp CBD for treating aging dogs, for example, who become arthritic. They can't jump up onto their favorite chair anymore, or go for walks with their owners the way they normally could. So this is helping them relieve the pain and become more mobile again. Cats sometimes get seizures. Dogs sometimes get seizures. It helps with that a great deal, as it does with people. They're using this with horses. Veterinarians are using this for treating horses. It just has there's a huge market out there. And the interesting thing about pet owners is they love their dogs, their cats, their
Yeah,
horses,
we
whatever.
all do.
They will spend the money
Yeah,
on their pet long before they'll spend anything on themselves, right? So they'll pay whatever it
guilty.
takes. Yeah, I think that's true for most. So it's kind of interesting to me. We'll sometimes neglect our own health, but we'll make sure our pet is healthy. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm like that. Me, I'm a cat person, and it's
uh-huh.
like no, it's cat first and then cattle.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Got
But
it.
the reason is, and they talk about it in those three small video introduction on that page, that animals and humans, we have receptor for the cannabinoid in
Yeah.
our body. So
Well, mhm.
specifically for it now, how's that? This we have those receptor in our body, in our brain, I believe,
Well, everywhere, in
everywhere.
all the cells of our body, primarily in the brain and the nervous system is where we have most of our receptors that are CBD related or connected. But it's everywhere in our body, and it's interesting because when I first started learning about the many health benefits of CBD oil, my first thought was, how is it possible that one thing can help so many different conditions? It just didn't make sense because my wife and I have been in the nutritional world, supplement world, natural health world for years and years and years. And usually it's like this particular supplement helps with this condition, and this mix of supplements helps with that condition, and so on and so on. And hemp CBD just seems to be working with everything. Well, then I learned about the endocannabinoid system, and I had known nothing about that previously. And the truth is that very few people know anything about the endocannabinoid system, including most medical doctors.
Yeah.
And the reason is that nobody even knew it existed, that this system existed until 1992, I think it was. Um, First of all, we're most of us are familiar with other systems in our body, like our immune system, our circulatory system, our nervous system, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, but we haven't heard of the endocannabinoid system. It was discovered in 1992 by a team of Israeli doctors and scientists that were doing research on the cannabis plant family for medical purposes, finding out why it was such a beneficial plant. And in Israel, they've been doing this kind of research for much longer than here in North America, because in North America, it's been an illegal compound. So there's been no money spent on research. But in any case, so these people found that there was this other system in the body. And not only is this another system, but it has a unique relationship with CBD. It's like it was designed for CBD, or CBD was put on this planet for the endocannabinoid system. I don't know that, getting into all of that. All I know is that they have learned that there is these receptors in the cells. They are craving, and they draw in the CBD molecules into the cells. And so they're learning, and there's still so much more to learn about the endocannabinoid system, but what they're learning so far is they are calling it the master regulatory system of the human body. So it helps manage or oversees all of the other systems in our body. And it helps create a state of homeostasis, which is balanced health. And so we know that any of the systems in our body have to be in balance for them to function properly and maintain good health. So let's use the immune system, for example. An underperforming immune system will result in a person catching every illness that comes out, every virus or whatever. So we need a strong, healthy immune system. However, if our immune system gets too strong, gets out of control on the other end of the scale, then we end up with an autoimmune disorder. And that can be extremely detrimental because now you have the immune system attacking the body. So what we want to do is keep all of our systems in balance. And that is what the endocannabinoid system apparently does. Pretty fascinating. So this third-party website I was mentioning to you earlier, what is CBD? If you go there, you'll find a lot of articles that explain what the endocannabinoid system is and how it works, and how it explains its unique relationship with CBD. So I would encourage your viewers to check that
In
out.
the description box, people, the link
Exactly.
is there. All you got to do is click and read. So I know I don't like to read, but for this, I did read a lot. So let's just go back to the website again. Now, here we got the pet. So now I'm ready to buy. So here at the top, you have all this, it's going to bring you can click on it, you can shop and you can join now. So let's go shop for C, because there's something I want to show you. Okay, because I did it earlier, sorry, but that little box, there's going to be a little box that's going to appear, and it's going to ask you what country you are in. And if you're not in the US, it is possible that you might not be able to see all the item, but all you got to do is ignore it and click on continue in order to see everything. So here's CBD drops. I'm clicking on it. Now here, I look at the first item for C. Full spectrum CBD oil drops 300
Milligram. Milligram.
milligram. Okay. So I click on it. You get information you can read. But my question here I have is preferred price $49.97, retail price $65.97. So what's those thing? What's the difference between these?
Well, just like most products that we buy anywhere, there's usually a retail price and a wholesale price, and the public mostly is buying at retail. Very seldom do we, the public, get to buy at wholesale. But CTFO wants to make our products as readily available to everyone as possible, so they provide an option. Now, some people choose to buy at retail, which you can do right from your website. Why someone would do that, I don't know, because it costs absolutely nothing to become a preferred customer. It's free to be a preferred customer, and there's no obligation attached to being a preferred customer. But what it does allow you is to buy it at wholesale at that preferred price. So that would be my recommendation. And then there's another option, which is the affiliate option, which also is free. It's costs the same as the preferred customer, which is nothing, right? But it also allows you to buy at the preferred price, and that's for people, those of us that know ourselves well enough to know that if we like something, we're probably going to tell other people about it. And if we do, like as soon as we become an affiliate for free, we get our website, just like your website
Yeah,
did. And then we can, if we're telling people about it, we can share the link and say, go check it out. If you want to buy something, you can buy it from my online store. And if
that's
somebody
right.
buys from your online store, you earn a commission. You don't have to buy anything to earn that commission. You don't have to spend any money to qualify. Everybody can become a free affiliate. Everybody can start earning commissions, even though they've never spent a nickel.
That's right. So what you do to be an affiliate, then you join. Once you join, you don't have no obligation at all. You can also unjoin, if I may say, unsubscribe or whatever. But
Yeah,
once
don't
you
know why you'd
join,
want
you
to.
get your product for less
Yeah.
expensive. You get a discount. Also, you get another opportunity is to um, how do you call that when you order on a regular
Oh,
basis?
auto ship.
Auto ship.
Authorship, yeah. Actually, and that's yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because there's no requirement to be on auto ship, and auto ship simply means that every month at on a certain date, the company will ship you whatever product or products you set out there as your auto ship. but you don't have to do that, but you can. And if you do, you get a further 5% discount. So that's the advantage of being on auto ship. And if for somebody that would want to do that and take advantage of that 5% discount, they can stop it anytime they want. They can just go into their back office of their website and uncheck auto ship, and you're off it. So
So
it's
not
totally
not
voluntary.
only when you join you get the preferred price as an affiliate, but if you do that and the auto, if you subscribe to the auto ship, you get another 5% additional
Discount.
discount.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go back here. And so this is my website that CTFO has provided me with. So I got that for free, as you can see here, share by Caroline Boivin. That's me. So if you join, you're gonna get all those links, all those pages, all those informations. Once you sign, once you join in, you get what they call the back office. You get again more information, more document. You also have videos on how to use the back office. Now, if you join under my name, I will be using this appear with you if you need my help to use the back office. And we need to talk about the benefits of how it's linked. Like you have received the link from a friend, you subscribe, you join just because it was her, because you trusted her,
I trusted her. Yes.
and then you sent the link to Norman, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Well, actually, what I did was I first contacted Norman and I said, Norman, I've just become involved in something that may or may not be of interest to you, but you have to know about it. At the very least, you have to know about it. Now, I didn't do that until that many months, and I had satisfied myself. Most
right.
people, if they're smart, they'll do it right away. But I had to prove some things to myself, right? So,
I
so
didn't do it right away. I did
no,
my research,
yeah,
like as
and
you
that's
know.
totally cool. So anyway, so I had that brief conversation with Norman, and he says, "Yeah, send me information." And so I did, and he saw the same value in it that I did, and so he signed on as a free affiliate. And then he contacted the lady that
Lee,
sponsored you,
people
Lee
on
Lapp.
my
Yeah.
channel, you
Mhm.
all know Lee, which is the woman that does the transcript for Talking with the Planet.
Yeah, so
And
she saw the same value in it as Norman and I did, and signed on as a free affiliate, and then she introduced you to it, and that's the way it goes. And
yeah,
the interest,
and she sent that to me at a time where I was looking into affiliation online to m- make my work online on my computer, because I do other things that require me to be at my computer a lot. So I must as well make it profitable. So at that time, I was looking in many others too. So when
Mhm.
I came across this one, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we need to share this.
Yeah.
And this is what we are doing, people. Now, no, Reg has did share his link to Norman. Norman did share to Lee. Lee shared to me, and I share to you. Now you are free to do whatever you want with it. We living on a planet of free will. So before to deny the old thing, just take a look. Take a look, and then compare it with other website. I did, and I'm like, I'm not impressed with what other company either online or on the site. First of all, just to go into here, we call it the cannabis NB in New Brunswick. And just to go in there, it's awkward. It feel like a jail, literally. You need to show your license driver when you go there. Then they let you go through one magneted door, and then you have to go through a second magneted door before they get in. to buy all this. No wonder it took so long for our government to put this in place because they had to build put jail. And in the meantime, nothing. I asked a whole bunch of questions, and nothing that was in that store was certified non-GMO or bio or nothing of that. Like it is what it is. You That's it. And one more thing, amp oil is amp oil. Now, if you go look at other amp oil bottle for other company and then they tell you, okay, you get the CBD and then you get um sunflower oil. I'm like, hold on. I want amp oil. I don't want sunflower oil. So,
Well, yeah, that's a good point because in order to get the CBD into the body, into the bloodstream, and into the system, it has to have a carrier oil. So some companies use sunflower, some use coconut oil, some use other different oils they use. But pure hemp CBD product will have hemp oil.
yeah.
That
And
is the carrier oil. It'll
this
be
is
organic hemp oil.
yeah, and that's tells me how high quality the products of CTFO are in reality. And when you look into it and you really take the time, let's say you take half an hour, okay, or maybe just 1 hour, and look at compare mini site to CTFO and their product, and uh, if they use gentle ethanol or you know
Or not so gentle ethanol.
it's like, okay, I know ethanol ain't gentle, so discredit that right away. And do your own research. And this is a big deal because the way CTFO makes a difference in people's lives, not just for health or fine. There's the financial side too, but there's something particular about the way they do it. It was patented. What
It was what?
breveté? I don't know the word in English. Um, the way they process to pay people for their work as an affiliate.
Oh, you mean the compensation
Yeah,
plan?
yeah,
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
compensation plan. That's right.
yeah. If yeah, it's. I mean, that to me is the least uh, important part, but to a lot of people, that's the most important part. But
Right.
this compensation plan is beyond good. It's an exceptional compensation, but it's fair. It's fair for the affiliates. It's fair for the company. Company has to stay profitable, or they can't stay in business. The affiliate has to be well compensated, or they're not going to stay in business, so to speak.
Right.
So it has it all. In fact, part of the compensation plan is actually patented. It's unique and it's extremely beneficial for the affiliate. So yeah, but just coming back to this, most people are just going to want to be preferred customers, and that's totally cool. Not everybody's looking for an additional income source. I personally like the idea of multiple income sources, multiple streams of income, however you want to phrase it, rather than having all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. So it's good to be able to add another income source to your repertoire, so to speak, and help people at the same time. And that's a big deal.
Yes, it is. But in the meantime, as a newcomer on CTFO, I join, and let's say I buy 10x and I'm in my third month and I'm like, this is incredible. I want to share this with this person and that person and this. And you can, once you join, you can use that link that I just used for my own self today to show you. You can send that link to tell people, hey, I'm using this for my problem. I know you got the same problem than me. Maybe you should try it too. But join and have a discount. right? So
Yes.
when people are going to join under your name, automatically you're going to be making money. And if you have not signed your paper as an affiliate to become an affiliate, well, it's no big deal because the money is yours. It's going to accumulate in your back office until you realize how beneficial it is for you. And once you get that amount of money because you have shared the link, you're going to start thinking, oh, maybe there's an opportunity here, really, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So, Reg,
So,
we're coming to the end. We're
yes.
not doing this just for you and me. We are doing this video is going to be used for whoever needs it. It's going to be shared. It's not just going to be my video, and I'm going to send a copy to Reg, and he's going to use it for one of his close friend, which is Bob. You want to talk about Bob?
Very briefly, yeah. Thank you for that. My wife Kish and I have a very very close friend. His name is Bob, and he about 5 to 6 years ago now was diagnosed with a tumor in his brain, and they didn't think it was a. He was experiencing memory loss and headaches and so on, and they diagnosed it as a tumor. They scheduled him for surgery very quickly. They thought it would be a fairly simple procedure. But when they got in there, they found that it was massive. It was far bigger than they had thought. And so when it was all said and done, after many hours of surgery, they had taken out the largest brain tumor from his head that had ever been removed in Vancouver, where the operation happened, or anywhere in the Pacific Northwest as of that time. And so he came out of that surgery. He survived it, which was a miracle in itself. But he had lost most of his motor skills, his ability to speak, to read, to walk, to his vision was he had lost most of his vision. And so he spent the next several months in GF Strong Rehabilitation Center, learning all the basic motor skills again. He's recovered amazingly, considering he's not he. It takes him a while to walk around. He's a slow walker, partly because he's legally blind. He has very limited eyesight, but unfortunately, even though he's recovered many of his other motor skills, the eye situation has not been improving. But any case, he's gone from being a successful person in his life with a good career to now being on a disability
Struggling.
insurance pension kind of thing, and it's very limited. His income is extremely limited, so every month is a challenge. By the way, he has written a book called Pure Happiness. This man is absolutely inspirational. He Through all of his ordeal, he has remained the most positive and uplifting person. He lifts people up every day when he's in a situation where it would be easy to just crawl into a hole, where he's at. But no, he's the one that's supporting and lifting people up. But financially, he's not doing so great. And so what I've done is set him up as a free affiliate. And he has a network of people that know and love him and would love to help him. So we're setting this up now so that he has his online store. And as soon as the product can be shipped into Canada, all of his many friends in the country will be able to go to his online store, order product, and he'll receive a commission. So my goal for him is to make enough extra income so that he can live comfortably, and that he can afford to buy the product for himself, because
Yeah.
hemp CBD is doing wonders for brain-related issues. So I have hope that this can help him in some way. But first, he needs to make some extra money, and that's what we're helping with. So, the wonderful thing about this is, if any of us know somebody in a similar kind of situation, we can set them up as a free affiliate, which gives them a free online store, and then they can reach out to their circle of influence, their network, so to speak, and anybody that purchases product on their online store is supporting that person. And just to give you an example, I have one of the people on on my team is a friend in the LA area of California, and she's heavily into cat rescue work. And so she's always needing money for feeding her colonies out in the neighborhood where she's doing this. And so we have just set her up with her online store, and she's putting the word out into her community. And so people are already starting to order product through her online store, which brings money in for her that she can then use for food and for having the cats spayed, if that's the right term, where
Yes,
they don't reproduce and create more street cats.
right.
So that's so it's a pretty amazing opportunity that we can offer people who might, that few $100s or more a month could make a huge difference for a lot of people.
Yes. And plus, she can buy those products for pet with CTFO if needed.
Exactly. Exactly. Mhm.
So, people, this is an amazing thing, and it's only a matter of time because now CBD is um, legal in Canada. It's only a matter of time for the internet thing to be settled by our government to allow us to buy from CTFO. It's just a matter of time. We
Correct.
can't tell how long,
Yeah.
but we're gonna get our finger crossed because I want to buy 10x. So do
Yes.
yourself a
So do I.
favor, you know, research this. We are living in a time of disclosure, and I feel strongly in my heart that this is going to, like the name of the company says, it's going to change the future outcome of many. Not only that, but I have spoken with three of you, my subscriber, that I'm going through a rough time, and I know you are going through a rough time. So please do yourself a favor and look into it. And if you are in the US, you can already buy. If you are a Canadian, you just do like me and you put your energy, you send love to Justin Trudeau for him to do something so we can buy high quality. When I say high, I say top quality CBD and oil. On the end, Reg, I'm going to allow you to close this meeting. And what would you like to share the
Well,
most?
one last little thing before we say goodbye, and that is that we've talked extensively about the United States and Canada, but CTFO is now open in 9 countries of Europe. I may not get them all, but Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, Finland, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal. So the product can be ordered in other parts of the world. It's just Canada that we're having this bit of a challenge with. So many other countries are open. So yeah, if you know somebody in those countries or you are in one of those countries, it's wide open for you. So that's the last thing. And I would just like to say thank you so much, Carol, for inviting me to be here with you today.
Thank
And
you to be here. We're doing this together, right? You could
yes,
not do that without me, and I could not do that without you.
there you have it, a partnership.
That's right. And as the last word, I would just like to say the more you share, the more you make a difference in people's life. So share the information, learn for yourself, and tell others, no matter how hard it can be by time. On this, I'm going to tell you good luck. If you have any good question for me, you can leave a comment under this video on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna send this video to Reg for him to share as he feel it fits so. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.